Hey everybody, what's going on? So I'm back in action. Kind of took a little bit of a break for a bit and went to Vegas with my wife, spent some time there. And last week we went to Disney World with my kids. My kids are older now, but we've been going there for a while. And took some time off to do that. So now I'm back in action and videoing again. But while I was gone, Ozzy had his farewell concert, and kind of wish I was around to watch it on TV, but I've been catching like pieces of it out on the internet. Kind of late to the game with this, but I wanted to talk about it. And I'm Generation X. I'm 51 years old, and when I was growing up as a kid, we had like all these rock bands coming out. It was unbelievable. I literally grew up in the best decade of rock and roll ever. You couldn't ask for anything more. I remember being a kid and delivering newspapers. They had 83 paper route customers, and I would wear a Walkman. I'd listen to Ozzy and like Iron Maiden and the Cars and Aerosmith and all this stuff. And every Friday, the DJs would say, "Hey, here's a new song from Ozzy," and so they'd release all the songs on Friday, and then on Monday, like the records would go on sale. So you'd buy a record or a cassette and stuff like that. But I must have seen at least 60 bands in concert. We went all the time. When I was a kid, it was like $18 to go to a show. It was like $12.50 to see somebody. They didn't kill you on ticket sales like they do now. So it wasn't a big deal. I saw Ozzy twice. I saw him with Black Sabbath when I was a teenager. And I saw him about 5 years ago. My son's a drummer. He's a really good drummer. I'm not saying that because I'm his dad, but the kid freaking rips. He's like unbelievable. He plays in a jazz band and an orchestra and stuff. But between that, he's always playing Russian and all this other stuff too, some rock music. And but yeah, I saw him. I took him to see Ozzy 5 years ago, and I wanted to take him to see somebody really good for his first concert. And to this day, he's like, "Dad, thanks for taking me to see Ozzy. It was unbelievable." And 5 years ago, he was still running back and forth. He put on a great show. Zakk Wylde was running through the crowd, playing guitar and stuff like that. And when he came out to Mr. Crowley. That's what he came out to with. He played like everything, War Pigs, you name it. He played it. And out of every band I've ever seen, I was a huge Kiss fan. Still like Kiss. I've seen him like 7 times. I saw him, with Eric Carr and the Hut in the Shade tour. I've seen him without makeup, with makeup. I've seen him a ton of times. I've seen, Ace Frehley by himself. I've seen Aerosmith. I've seen Dee Snider. I've seen Twisted Sister, Faster Pussycat, Van Halen 4 times. I've seen like all these bands. I think my favorite performer to see had to be Ozzy Osbourne. He'd get out there on stage and his eyes would just be laser beams on the crowd. He'd take the fire hose and just drench everybody down with the fire hose and wave his hands and swear and say, "Clap hands!" And it was hilarious. So you never knew what he was going to say, but the guy could just energize the crowd. And to me, he was the best guy to see in concert. You always had a good time going to see him. But I'm kind of bummed out because all these guys are starting to go the way of the dinosaur. All these guys I grew up watching. Steven Tyler, 77. Sammy Hagar's climbing up there too. They're all getting old, and there's no kids grabbing a guitar and creating a band. And I guess Gene Simmons was saying that it was hard to do. I said like in '89, the internet kind of killed rock music because the support isn't there anymore like they used to be to help promote bands. Like when I was a kid, the DJs were huge. You always had the DJs going to clubs, checking out the bands. That was huge for the Cars, the rock band, the Cars. I'm in New England, and there's a local DJ. And she went to see the Cars. I believe she worked for WCGY, if I'm not wrong. She went to see the Cars, loved the band, and pumped their music on the air like the whole next day, the next week. And she helped them take flight. Like all that stuff was important to these rock bands and to get them going and to help them take flight. When I was a kid, there was garage bands on my paper route. There must have been 4 garage bands, the kids playing in garages and just playing rock music, and it was great. It was a great time to grow up, and man, we need bands more than ever. I wish that there was something out there to Greta Van Fleet, I guess, has figured it out, but some of these kids need to figure it out and start making some good music again because we're losing these guys. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Ozzy. Did you watch the show? And I watched a bunch of clips, like I said, and it was great to see him do like a farewell show. He did that for the fans. It wasn't for him. he totally did that for the fans, which is pretty cool. But share your thoughts in the comments section. I'll reply back to you guys. I like hanging out on the board, so take it easy.